Well, they tell me I can eat rice and roti and plantains. Pumpkin had too much sugar for my diabetes, so I'm not supposed to eat pumpkin. Carrots had too much sugar too, eh? I tell you, I tried all the diets and I lost the weight, no, but I couldn't sustain it. I couldn't maintain it, and I put it back on with some extra. I cut and cut and cut until there was nothing left to cut. Sounds familiar? I know that I made light of those situations, but they are very serious, very common situations. So for you, let me know. Have you ever been told to cut out your cultural foods? Leave me a comment down below and share your experience with the cultural farm as well. But these are very common complaints that I get from clients or just persons that I speak to in terms of some of the advice, some of the dieting advice that they would have been given as it relates to, in many cases, is about weight loss, or sometimes even for blood sugar management. Those are the two main areas that I see a lot of restrictive advice coming into play. Okay, so cut. And sometimes they're cutting and they're not being told and given the advice on, well, what do I replace it with? Okay, so you're just cutting things out. And as a couple of my clients have said to me, I have nothing left to cut. I don't know what else to do. Like, I've tried it, but right now it's more of a frustration than it is actually helping them feel good in their bodies and see the outcomes that they are working towards. Okay. Many of these mainstream diets and mainstream dieting advice recommendations are just too restrictive. So that's one of the major reasons why they fail. It's too restrictive. It unnecessarily removes certain foods and in some cases complete food groups from your diet in an effort, and sometimes a quick ditch, really quick fix effort to get to a particular outcome. Okay, and in most cases, this is not necessary for general health and wellness, to optimize your health, to lead a better quality of life. More times than not, you do not need to remove all of these foods. The second reason why a lot of mainstream pieces of advice, dieting advice, fail is because it's not sustainable. Again, leading into that they're too restrictive. Okay, they're asking you to take out too many things. It's not sustainable. If you have to duck and hide and cheat to eat certain foods, my dear fam, it's not working for you. I know persons will say it's working. But if your diet doesn't leave space for certain foods, indulgences, things that keep you going over time, it's not working. I know you may not want to hear that, but it's not making sense, okay? And that's why a lot of persons tend to cycle on and on and on and off and on and off and on and off when it comes to some of these mainstream diets. And they're like, well, I have to go back on my diet. I was on a diet, I know, but I'm taking a break. Building sustainable habits doesn't require you to take a break. Okay, it means that you have factored in that sometimes you eat out, sometimes there are birthdays and social events, and there are certain foods that you would want to have. And so you can have them. Yes, portion size matters. Yes, the frequency of how often you're having certain foods, those things do matter. But you still get to engage with them and not compromise your health outcomes. Third and major thing why a lot of these mainstream diets fail is because they don't include your culture, and asking you to completely erase an aspect of your identity to be healthy, I've seen rubs people the wrong way and they tend to just sort of give up on, well, this is not for me, this is not going to work for me, I can't do this because you're asking me to remove something that I grew up with, something that I'm familiar with, and maybe I will do it for a period of time, but eventually that falls flat as well. Nutrition, when you think about building sustainable nutrition habits, we're really thinking about what can I add more than subtract. Before I cut all of these things out, is there something that I can add and add more of and do in a different way versus I need to just cut, and then you're left without, especially not just in terms of certain food options you're cutting out from a nutrition perspective as well. Sometimes persons cut, and they are lacking, they end up becoming nutrient deficient because you're lacking certain key foods that bring in important nutrients to optimize your well-being.